Get out from my courtroom!
The courtroom went silent again, that cold, heavy silence that makes even the air feel nervous. Judge Judy leaned back in her chair, eyes locked on Emily, the senator's daughter, who still sat with her chin raised like she owned every brick in the building. But inside, she wasn't as confident as she looked. Her foot tapped under the table. Her fingers twisted the edge of her designer sleeve. And every time Judge Judy glanced at her, Emily's eyes flickered with the tiniest hint of fear of a reality she had never faced before. "Let's continue," Judge Judy said, her voice sharp enough to slice the tension in half. "Emily Carter, you've been accused of intentionally damaging school property, intimidating other students, and attempting to use your father's political power to avoid consequences. Do you understand the seriousness?" Emily smirked, though her lips trembled. "Your Honor, I already told you. This whole thing is being blown out of proportion." The audience reacted instantly, a couple gasps, someone whispering, "Unbelievable." Judge Judy raised one eyebrow. "Blown out of proportion? Young lady, you nearly set a locker room on fire." Emily shrugged like it was no big deal. "It wasn't a fire, it was a candle. I was making a TikTok. Mood lighting. People exaggerate." Judge Judy pressed her palms on the bench. "Stop talking." Even the walls seemed to flinch. Emily froze. Her father, Senator Jonathan Carter, shifted uncomfortably beside her, tugging at his cufflinks like he wished he could disappear. For the first time since the hearing started, he whispered harshly to his daughter, "Emily, enough." But Emily didn't listen. She never did. "Look," she said loudly, flipping her hair. "This court keeps acting like I'm some criminal. I'm not. And honestly, this whole setup is ridiculous. I shouldn't even be here." Judge Judy stared at her for a long moment. "You're here because actions have consequences? Something you've apparently never been taught?" Emily scoffed. "Consequences? My father—" "No," Judge Judy cut in before Emily could finish that sentence. "We are not doing my father is a senator routine again. Not today." The senator cleared his throat. "Your Honor, perhaps if we could discuss this privately." Judy slammed her gavel once. "This is a public hearing, Senator, and your daughter's behavior will be addressed publicly." Emily rolled her eyes again, but this time the confidence was fading. Her voice cracked slightly as she muttered, "I didn't mean to hurt anyone." Judge Judy leaned forward. "And yet you did." The bailiff brought forward a girl, small, nervous, carrying a folder of evidence. Her name was Layla, one of the students Emily had tormented. She stepped up to the witness stand, clutching her hands to stop them from shaking. Judge Judy softened her voice just a little. "Take a deep breath. You're safe here." Layla nodded, tears collecting at the edges of her eyes. "Thank you, Your Honor." Emily sighed dramatically. "Oh my God, is she seriously going to cry?" "This is so—" Judge Judy didn't even look at her this time. "Emily, one more interruption and I will hold you in contempt. And trust me, you don't want to see what that looks like." Emily fell silent instantly. Layla opened the folder. Inside were photos of her locker covered in hateful words. Her textbooks ripped, the melted patch where Emily had shoved a candle against the wall for fun. Judge Judy examined them carefully. "Emily, would you like to explain this?" Emily swallowed. "The pictures were hard to dismiss. I didn't write everything," she muttered. "Some people join in. It's not all my fault. Did you start it?" Judge Judy asked flatly. Emily hesitated. "Maybe." "Did you encourage others?" "Yes." "Did you threaten Layla if she reported it?" Emily's voice shrank. "Yes." Layla let out a small sob. The courtroom watched as she wiped her cheek and tried to stay composed. "I just wanted to go to school without being scared," she whispered. "But every day she made me feel like I was nothing." Emily looked away, jaw clenching, not in guilt, but shame. The kind of shame people feel when they finally see their reflection without the filter of privilege. Judge Judy exhaled slowly. "Emily Carter, do you know the difference between being feared and being respected?" "No," Emily whispered. "When people fear you, it's because you can hurt them. When people respect you, it's because you show integrity, humility, and kindness." You have shown none. Emily blinked fast, trying to hold back tears, but one escaped anyway. The senator placed a hand on his daughter's shoulder. For the first time today, he spoke with genuine emotion. I warned you, sweetheart. Power is not protection. It's responsibility. Emily sniffed. Dad, I didn't think it would go this far. Because you never had to face consequences, Judge Judy said. But you will now. Silence again. Heavy, crushing. Everyone waited. Judge Judy continued, her voice steady. You targeted a girl who did nothing to you? You used your father's position to intimidate teachers and administrators. And you behaved with absolute disrespect in my courtroom. Emily wiped her face. I'm sorry. I mean it. Judy nodded but didn't smile. Apology is a start, not a solution. She turned to Layla. You've shown bravery by standing here today. You didn't deserve any of this. Layla nodded. Tears falling again, Judge Judy took a deep breath and looked back at Emily. You will perform 200 hours of community service, real service, not photo shoots with charities. You will attend a behavioral rehabilitation program, and you will personally write a formal apology to every student affected by your actions. Emily gasped. 200 hours? But if you fail to comply, you will face juvenile detention. Is that clear? Emily's lips parted in shock. Yes, Your Honor. And one more thing, Judge Judy added, her tone dropping into something colder, something final. From this moment on, your father's title means nothing in this courtroom. You will earn respect the same way everyone else does, through your actions. Emily nodded slowly. I understand. Judge Judy tapped her gavel. Good, because this is just the beginning. And just like that, Emily Carter, who entered the courtroom with swagger and entitlement, sat quietly, shoulders trembling, finally understanding a lesson no privilege could protect her from. Lesson about accountability. A lesson about humility. A lesson she was long overdue to learn. Asterisk. Emily didn't stand up when the session ended. She just sat there, staring at the polished wooden table like it had suddenly become the most interesting thing in the world. The senator whispered something to her again, but she didn't answer. Her mind was spinning too fast, too loud, too painfully. For the first time in her life, she was scared, not of Judge Judy, not of the punishment, but of herself, of realizing what she had become. The bailiff called for a short recess. People started getting up, murmuring about the dramatic moment they just witnessed. Layla quietly stepped away with her mother, wiping her tears, relieved but still shaken. Reporters were already gathering near the hallway, ready to spin the story into tomorrow's headlines. The senator rubbed his temples, looking exhausted, like the weight of years of political pressure had suddenly doubled. Emily finally inhaled and whispered, Dad, everyone hates me. Senator Carter didn't sugarcoat it. No, Emily, people don't hate you. They're disappointed. There's a difference. One can be fixed. She swallowed hard. How? By proving you're better than your worst moment. Emily looked up, eyes red. And if I'm not? He squeezed her shoulder gently. You are. You just don't believe it yet. Asterisk. Before Emily could respond, Judge Judy stepped down from the bench. She didn't storm out. She walked with purpose, as if she still had something left to say. The air shifted. Even off the bench, she carried authority like it was stitched into her robe. She stopped beside Emily. Young lady. Emily flinched and stood up instinctively. Yes, Your Honor. Come with me. The senator hesitated. Is that necessary? For her? Judy replied. Absolutely. Emily followed her into a quieter side room connected to the courtroom, a conference chamber with old court photos on the walls and a long wooden table that smelled faintly of lemon polish. Judge Judy closed the door behind them. Sit. Emily sat without argument. Judge Judy didn't sit right away. She walked around the table, hands behind her back, observing Emily like a teacher trying to understand a complicated, slightly troublesome student. Asterisk. You know why I brought you in here? She asked. Emily shook her head. Because I saw something, Judy said. Something small. Something very faint. But it was there. Emily blinked. What? Your regret. Emily's voice cracked. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I swear. That is not true, Judy said calmly. You wanted power. You wanted attention. You wanted control. You liked the feeling it gave you. And when people did nothing to stop you, you assumed it made you untouchable. Tears filled Emily's eyes again. Judge Judy sat down across from her. But here's the part you don't understand yet. Remorse is not weakness. It's the beginning of wisdom. Emily sniffed. I feel horrible. You should, Judy replied bluntly. What you did to that girl was cruel. And cruelty is a choice. I know. Emily wiped her face. I guess. I thought it was funny. I thought people liked me because I acted strong. Judy leaned in slightly. Being strong is not the same as being loud. You were loud, and you hid your insecurity behind that volume. Asterisk Emily looked up suddenly, surprised. How did you know? Because people like you always have the same look in their eyes, she said, tapping a finger on the table. Confidence on the outside. Panic on the inside. Emily lowered her gaze again. I don't want to be like that anymore. Good, Judy said. Because change doesn't start when someone punishes you. It starts when you decide you've had enough of the person you've been. Emily's throat tightened. What if people never forgive me? Forgiveness, Judge Judy said, is earned by consistency, not by crying in a courtroom. You'll show your change through actions. Day after day. Hour by hour. Emily nodded. And your father, Judy added, isn't your shield. He's a parent trying to protect you from a world that doesn't care who you are. But protecting you doesn't mean excusing you. Emily's voice softened. I think I've made everything harder for him. Oh, you absolutely have, Judy said without hesitation. But he loves you. And parents forgive faster than the world ever will. Emily let out a shaky breath. What should I do first? Start with Layla, Judy answered. Not for the court. Not for your father. For yourself. Emily nodded slowly, determination flickering in her expression for the first time today. Judge Judy stood up. Come, she's still here. They walked back into the corridor. Layla was on a bench with her mother, holding a tissue, trying her best not to tremble every time someone passed by. When she saw Emily approaching, her entire body stiffened. Emily swallowed hard. Layla? Lila didn't look up. Emily continued, voice unsteady but honest. I'm sorry. Not the kind of sorry people say to avoid trouble. I'm genuinely sorry. I was awful. And you didn't deserve any of it. If I could take it back, I would. Lila didn't say anything. Emily sat beside her, leaving space, not invading it. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, and I'm not asking you to forgive me. I just needed you to know that I'm finally seeing what I did, and it makes me sick. Layla wiped her eyes, still silent, but her mother studied Emily carefully, and something softened in her expression. Emily stood up again. I'll leave you alone. I just wanted to say it. She turned away, ready to walk back to her father, but Layla's voice whispered behind her, Emily. Emily stopped. Layla's eyes lifted, hesitant but sincere. I appreciate the apology, even if it took all this for you to say it. Emily nodded. I deserve that. For what it's worth, Layla added softly, I hope you really do change. Emily's voice cracked. I will. Judge Judy watched the exchange quietly, her expression unreadable, but there was something warm behind her eyes. The senator approached his daughter, placing a hand on her back. Let's go home. Emily nodded, exhausted but lighter somehow. But as they were leaving, Layla called out one last thing. Emily. Emily turned. Maybe someday we can talk again. As normal people. Not as enemies. Emily's lips trembled into the first genuine smile she'd shown all day. I'd like that. Judge Judy crossed her arms with a small, approving nod. Good, she said. Because accountability is the first step. Growth is the second. And today, you took both. Emily exhaled deeply, feeling the weight lift, not because her punishment was over, but because for the first time, she understood why she needed it. This wasn't an ending. It was the beginning of the person she was supposed to become. Asterisk, the car ride home was the quietest of Emily's life. Usually, she'd be scrolling through her phone, laughing at messages, planning parties, bragging about something ridiculous. But now her phone sat turned off in her lap. Heavy like a brick she didn't know how to lift anymore, the senator kept glancing at her through the rearview mirror. She looked smaller, somehow like the loud, confident Emily wasn't just shaken. She was gone. He finally broke the silence. I'm proud of you today. Emily frowned. For what? I embarrassed you. I embarrassed myself. Everyone saw. No, he corrected gently. Everyone saw you take responsibility. That's more than most adults can do. Emily didn't answer. She just leaned her head against the window and watched the world blur by. People walked on sidewalks. Kids rode bikes. Life kept moving, not caring for her troubles at all. It was unfair, but somehow comforting. When they reached home, the house staff opened the door for her. She hated that. It made her feel pampered, untouchable, spoiled, exactly the person she didn't want to be right now. She whispered, "Thank you," to the butler, something she'd barely done before. Then walked inside her room, usually glowing with neon lights. Music blasting, perfume in the air felt suffocating. Every poster, every trophy, every expensive gift from her father suddenly looked cheap in comparison to what she now realized she lacked. Character. She closed her door quietly and slid down against it, hugging her knees to her chest. For the first time in years, she cried not because she was angry, but because she was ashamed of the girl she had been. Downstairs, the senator stood near the doorway, listening to the muffled sobs. He closed his own eyes and whispered a heavy, worried sigh. Let this be her turning point, he prayed silently. The next morning, Emily woke up early, not because anyone forced her, but because she couldn't sleep. Her mind kept replaying Layla's face, the fear she'd caused, the damage she'd done, and Judge Judy's voice echoed in her head. Remorse is the beginning of wisdom. She made her bed, something she almost never did. She dressed simply, no designer labels, no flashy jewelry. A plain hoodie, jeans. She tied her hair back, almost embarrassed by how much time she used to spend making it perfect. When she walked downstairs, her father was reading the newspaper. He looked up surprised. You're awake early. I want to start, she said. Start what? Everything. Community service. Apology letters. The program. All of it. I don't want to wait. The senator nodded, pride glimmering in his eyes. Then let's begin. Her first assignment was volunteering at a community center that helped underprivileged kids. The director, a stern woman named Mrs. Fletcher, handed her a mop without any special treatment. You're here to work, she said flatly. Not pose for pictures. Start with the gym floor. Emily stared at the mop. Okay. Her nails weren't made for cleaning. Her hands weren't used to this kind of work. The mop felt uncomfortable, heavy, awkward. But she pushed through. Back and forth. Back and forth. Kids ran past her laughing, dribbling basketballs. Some recognized her. Isn't that the senator's daughter? I saw her on the news. Didn't she bully someone? Their whispers stung. But she kept mopping. Hours passed. Sweat ran down her forehead. Her arms hurt. Her back ached. But for the first time, she felt strangely grounded, like every push of the mop was scrubbing something inside her too. Mrs. Fletcher came over. You're slow, she said bluntly. But thorough. Good. Emily didn't smile. She didn't need approval. Just guidance. After the cleaning shift, she sat on a bench outside, exhausted. That's when her phone buzzed. She hesitated before turning it on. Messages flooded. And screenshots. Memes. Mockery. Everyone talking about her court case. Some friends telling her she'd get over it. Others subtly distancing themselves. Not wanting to be associated. Asterisk. But then one message caught her attention. Layla. It was short. I heard you started your service today. I'm glad. Emily stared at it for a long minute before replying. Thank you. I'm trying. Layla didn't respond immediately. And that was okay. By the second week, Emily's routine changed completely. School in the morning, community center in the afternoon, behavioral program in the evening. No parties. No drama. No fancy shopping. No fake attention. People at school still stared, whispered, judged. Teachers gave her cautious glances, unsure how much she had really changed. But she kept going. Her hands got calloused. Her face lost its usual arrogance. Her voice became softer. Her posture less defensive. And one afternoon at the community center, something unexpected happened. A little girl with messy hair and oversized shoes approached Emily while she was stacking boxes. "Can you play with me?" The girl asked shyly. Emily froze. "No, I mean, yes, of course." They played with building blocks, making towers, then crashing them down. The little girl giggled, and Emily found herself laughing, too real laughter. The kind she hadn't felt in months, maybe years. Mrs. Fletcher watched from a distance. Arms crossed but eyes warm. "You're different this week," she said later. "I'm trying to be." Emily replied, "Good, keep going." The real test came at school. Emily noticed Layla struggling with her books near her locker. Her instinct was to walk away, to avoid awkwardness, but something inside her pushed her forward. "I can help," Emily said quietly. Layla hesitated, unsure. "Okay." Emily picked up the books, handing them over gently. "Thank you," Layla whispered. Emily nodded. "No, thank you." They exchanged a small, fragile smile, one that carried hope. By the end of the month, Emily had completed nearly half of her community service and finished her first round of counseling sessions. Her counselor, a calm, older woman, told her something that stuck deeply. Hurt people often hurt others, but healed people, they help. Emily carried that sentence everywhere. One evening, as she helped stack donations in the community center, Senator Carter arrived quietly. He watched his daughter from the doorway, how she listened to instructions, how she smiled kindly at the younger volunteers, how she moved with purpose instead of entitlement. She wasn't perfect. She wasn't finished, but she was changing. He walked in and Emily saw him. "Dad, what are you doing here?" "I came to see you," he said with pride. "The real you." Emily looked down, embarrassed but touched. "I'm not the real me yet." He placed a hand on her shoulder. "No, but you're becoming her." Emily exhaled softly, a mixture of relief and determination. "I want to fix everything," she whispered. "You can't fix the past," he replied gently. "But you can build a better version of yourself. One brick at a time." Emily nodded, eyes shining. And for the first time since the courtroom, she believed him. The next few weeks felt like a lifetime. Emily woke up earlier than she ever had, not because someone demanded it, but because something inside her had shifted. She no longer dragged herself out of bed. She pushed herself, determined to earn the change she claimed she wanted. Her community service supervisor, Mrs. Fletcher, noticed. Her counselor noticed. Her teachers noticed. Even the kids at school noticed, but the person who struggled the most to accept her progress was Emily herself. Every time she saw Layla in the hallway quiet, cautious, trying to heal, Emily felt a pang of guilt so deep it tightened her chest. She wanted to make up for everything, but she knew she couldn't rush forgiveness. One early morning, while organizing supplies at the community center, Mrs. Fletcher approached her with her usual no-nonsense tone. "You're not the same girl who walked in here weeks ago." Emily paused mid-task. "I hope that's a good thing." "It is," Mrs. Fletcher said. "But don't get comfortable. Growth doesn't end when people start clapping for you. It ends when you stop putting in the work." Emily absorbed those words like a lesson etched into her heart. Later that week, something unexpected happened at school. During lunch, a group of girls, her old friends, approached her. They looked uncomfortable, like they didn't know whether to hug her or run. "Hey, you've been Maya," said Jasmine, the leader of their group. Emily didn't smile. "I've been busy." "Yeah, we saw." Jasmine looked around awkwardly. "Look, you don't have to take all this so seriously. Everyone messes up. Just come hang with us again." The old Emily would have jumped at the invitation. Popularity had always been her oxygen. But now, it tasted hollow. "I can't," Emily said simply. "Why not?" Jasmine scoffed. Are you suddenly too good for us? After all the times we know, Emily interrupted, calm and steady. I'm not too good. I'm just trying to be better. The girls fell silent. Jasmine folded her arms. So you're ditching us? They're not ditching you, a voice said behind Emily. Layla. Every person at the table froze. Layla stepped closer, holding her books tightly. She's just not the same person anymore. And that's not a bad thing. Jasmine rolled her eyes dramatically. Oh please, you're defending her now? After everything she did? Layla swallowed. She apologized. And she's actually trying. That matters. The cafeteria buzzed with whispers. Emily stared at Layla, stunned by her courage. You didn't have to do that, she whispered. Layla shrugged. I know, but I wanted to. Jasmine scoffed again, flipping her hair. Whatever. Enjoy your little redemption arc, Emily. The group walked away, leaving Emily trembling not from fear, but from relief. She exhaled shakily. Thank you. Layla offered a small smile. You're welcome. That moment, small as it seemed, felt monumental. They weren't friends. Not yet. But they were no longer enemies. Later that day, during her counseling session, Emily's counselor leaned forward. You seem lighter today, she noted. I think someone believed in me, Emily said softly. The counselor nodded. And how does that make you feel? Motivated, Emily replied. Like I need to live up to it. That's good. But remember, you're doing this for yourself. Not for applause. Not for approval. Growth built on external validation crumbles quickly. Emily took that in with a slow nod. When she returned home, her father was sitting at the kitchen table, typing something on his laptop. When he looked up and saw her expression, he closed it immediately. You seem different today. Emily set her bag down and sat beside him. I think I had a good day. That's wonderful, he said, smiling warmly. Tell me. She did. Every detail. The cafeteria, Jasmine, Layla stepping up. The feeling of being seen for her effort instead of her name. Senator Carter listened patiently, pride shining through every line on his face. But when she finished, his expression softened to something more serious. Emily, he said quietly, I need to tell you something. Her heart skipped. What is it? I talked to the school board today. They plan to hold a forum next month about bullying, privilege, and accountability. They want you to speak. Emily's blood ran cold. Me speak? In front of everyone? Yes, he said. They think your experience could help other students. Show them the consequences. Show them growth. Emily shook her head. No, Dad, I can't. I'm barely holding myself together as it is. He reached across the table and took her hand. You've already taken the hardest steps. Sharing your journey could change someone else's. Her voice trembled. What if they laugh at me? What if they think I'm pretending? Then let your honesty speak louder, he said gently. You won't be alone. That night, Emily barely slept. She stared at her ceiling, thinking about what it would mean to stand on a stage and tell the truth. The whole truth, the girl she used to be, the pain she caused, the people she hurt, the person she was trying so desperately to become. The idea terrified her, but maybe that was the point. 2 days later, at the community center, Mrs. Fletcher approached her. Your father told me about the forum, she said. Emily nearly dropped the stack of books she was carrying. He did? Why? I'm not even sure I'll do it. You will. Emily frowned. How do you know? Because growth demands discomfort, Mrs. Fletcher said. And you're ready? Emily didn't answer. Not because she disagreed, but because deep in her chest, she knew it was true. The next big moment happened when Layla approached Emily after school. She walked up slowly, carefully, but without fear. Hey, Layla said. So, I heard about the forum. Emily groaned. Is everyone hearing about this before me? Layla smiled. I think it's brave. It's terrifying, Emily admitted. That's how you know it's worth doing. Layla whispered. They stood there for a long moment. Would you want me to be there when you speak? Layla asked gently. Not on stage, just in the crowd. Emily's breath hitched. You would come? Asterisk Layla nodded. If you want me to. Emily swallowed hard, emotion thickening her voice. I do. Layla smiled faintly. Then I'll be there. That night, Emily wrote the first version of her speech. It wasn't polished. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't even finished, but it was honest, raw, real and for the first time, she felt like she was finally learning how to use her voice for something good. Her journey wasn't over. But she was no longer walking backward. She was moving forward step by shaky step toward the person she hoped to become, and maybe toward forgiveness too. Asterisk the night before the school forum. Emily sat at her desk with her speech in front of her, hands trembling slightly as she read it again and again. She'd written and rewritten it so many times the paper looked soft at the edges. Every word felt like a confession. Every sentence felt like peeling away a layer she had once used to protect herself. Her father knocked softly. You ready? No, Emily whispered. But I guess that's normal. He smiled. Courage isn't about being ready. It's about doing it anyway. She exhaled shakily. Will you be there? Every second. She reached out and hugged him, something she hadn't done this sincerely in years. Thank you. For not giving up on me. Asterisk never, he whispered back. The next morning arrived too fast. Emily could barely eat breakfast. Her heart kept thudding like it was trying to escape her chest. At school, the hallways buzzed with chatter. Posters about the forum were everywhere. People stared at her, not cruelly this time, but out of curiosity. Some seemed nervous for her, some skeptical, some hopeful. The auditorium was packed, students, teachers, parents, even a few reporters. The stage lights made everything look unreal, like she was stepping into someone else's life. Emily took her seat on the stage, knees shaking under the table. She scanned the crowd anxiously until she found them, her father, Mrs. Fletcher, Counselor and then Layla, sitting quietly, hands folded, watching her with soft, steady eyes. Their presence steadied her heartbeat. Asterisk, the principal stepped to the microphone. Today's forum is about accountability, empathy, and the courage to change. We're grateful for the student who agreed to speak openly about her journey. Emily closed her eyes. This is your moment, she whispered to herself. When her name was called, she walked up slowly, each step echoing like a test she had to pass. Her palms were sweating. Her throat felt dry. But when she reached the microphone and looked out at the sea of faces, something shifted. She wasn't the old Emily anymore. And this was her chance to prove it. Asterisk, she unfolded her speech, but after staring at it for a moment, she placed it down. She chose to speak from the heart instead. My name is Emily Carter, she began, voice slightly shaky. And I hurt someone, badly. A quiet gasp spread through the room. But she didn't flinch. I used my father's position as a shield. I used my popularity as a weapon. I thought being feared meant being respected. And I didn't realize how wrong I was until I watched someone cry because of me. Not because I embarrassed them, but because I made them feel unsafe. Layla blinked, her eyes glossy. Emily continued, her voice stronger now. I've spent weeks trying to fix the damage. But the truth is, some things you can't fix. You can only learn from them. I've learned that kindness isn't weakness. That power doesn't come from status, but from character. And that the person I used to be, I don't ever want to see her again. People shifted, listening more closely. I'm not here to make excuses. I'm not here to ask for forgiveness. I'm here because if even one person in this room is acting like I did, hiding their insecurities behind cruelty, then maybe hearing this will stop them before they cause real pain. A student in the front row lowered his head, thinking, I want to thank the girl I hurt, Layla, not just because she accepted my apology, but because she believed I could change even when she had every reason not to. Layla's breath caught. She blinked away tears. And I want to thank Judge Judy, Emily said softly, for seeing something in me that I didn't even see in myself. She didn't punish me to break me. She punished me to rebuild me. There were murmurs of agreement. And to my dad, thank you for loving me when I made it the hardest. Senator Carter's eyes glistened with pride. Emily took a deep breath. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. And I'm still making mistakes. But I promise every day I'm trying to be someone I can respect. And someone the people I hurt can trust. There was a long silence, then applause, soft at first, then louder, then overwhelming. Emily stepped back, breath shaky, eyes wet. It wasn't applause she sought. It was acceptance. And for the first time, she felt like she'd earned a piece of it. After the forum, students approached her, some shy, some curious, some brave. I never thought you'd say all that. That took guts. I'm proud of you. I wish more people talk like you did today. Every comment felt surreal. As she stepped off the stage, Layla approached slowly. That was really powerful, she said softly. Emily looked down, embarrassed. I just told the truth. Layla shook her head gently. No, Emily, you owned it. That's different. And it means something. Emily bit her lip. Thank you for being here. I told you I would, Layla said with a small smile. There was a long pause. Do you? Emily hesitated. Do you think we could ever be, friends? Layla looked thoughtful, not pressured. Maybe, she said finally. Friendship takes time, but I'm open to it. Emily smiled, a real, hopeful smile. That's enough for me. They walked out of the auditorium together, slowly, side by side, but not as enemies, not as victims and offenders. As two girls who could someday build something better. Outside, the winter sun was soft on their faces. Senator Carter approached, wiping his eyes discreetly. You were incredible, he whispered, hugging his daughter. She hugged him back tightly. I'm trying, Dad. You're doing more than trying, he whispered. You're transforming. Emily glanced back at the school doors, at the place where she'd once felt invincible in all the wrong ways. Now she felt something far more meaningful. Human. Weeks passed. And slowly, the whispers died down. People started treating her like a person rather than a headline. Teachers noticed her effort. Students approached her with respect. Her service at the community center turned into something she wanted to continue even after her hours were completed. She even helped Mrs. Fletcher create a new program for younger kids about empathy and kindness. One afternoon, Layla joined her in helping paint murals for the community center. They worked quietly, side by side, until Layla said softly, You really have changed. Emily paused, brush in the air. I hope so. You have, Layla assured her. I can see it. Emily exhaled, warmth spreading in her chest. Not long after, Emily received a letter from Judge Judy's office. It was short, handwritten, and meaningful. Accountability opens the door. Actions keep it open. Keep going. Emily folded the letter carefully and kept it. Close. She had started this journey because she was forced to, but she continued it because she chose to. And that made all the difference. This wasn't just her redemption. This was her beginning. Her real story, the story of who she was becoming, and she wasn't going back.